President Biden calls the U.S. Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade a sad day for the court and the country. I'm Skyler Henry outside the High Court with more reactions to the seismic shift in federal abortion rights.
Plus, we'll have local reaction to the Supreme Court's decision.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A decision from the Supreme Court today could affect the future of millions of women's health for Americans. This is KOAM News at 5. The court sided with the state of Mississippi and moved to eliminate the constitutional right to abortion. Reporter Skyler Henry has more on the decision and reaction.
Protesters erupted outside the Supreme Court after the justices ruled to overturn Roe v. Wade.
I kept hoping for the best, but it's clear that these justices don't care about the majority of Americans and their voices.
This is going to be like history. This is just the beginning of, the pro-life generation, being there for women, for the unborn.
Writing for the majority, Justice Samuel Alito said the Constitution does not confer a right to abortion. Chief Justice John Roberts joined the other 5 conservatives in upholding Mississippi's abortion ban, but wrote he would have stopped short of overruling Roe outright.
It's a sad day for the court and for the country.
President Biden called the decision wrong and extreme.
Now, with Roe gone, let's be very clear. The health and life of women in this nation are now at risk.
The court's 3 liberals agreed, writing they dissented with sorrow for the many millions of American women who have to date lost a fundamental constitutional protection. The court's ruling wasn't a surprise. It'd been forecast several weeks ago following a leaked draft indicating which way the justices were leaning. The decision is expected to lead to abortion bans in roughly half the states.
This decision is a victory for the pro-life movement and for the generations of Americans who never gave up hope.
The ruling puts the court at odds with a majority of Americans. CBS News polling found 2/3 wanted the court to leave Roe v. Wade in place, as it has been for nearly half a century. Skyler Henry, CBS News, at the Supreme Court.
In addition to overturning Roe, Justice Clarence Thomas also called on the court to reconsider other rulings, including protections for same-sex marriage and the use of contraceptives. With this decision, states are now allowed to set their own abortion laws. Trigger laws banning abortion are now in effect in Missouri, effective immediately. They're ready pending a signature in both Arkansas and Oklahoma. In Kansas, voters will decide on August 2nd whether the state constitution protects the right to abortion. 4 state residents are reacting to the overturn of Roe v. Wade. In about an hour, Julie Joplin Media will hold an emergency rally for abortion rights at Ewart Park. Julie Joplin Media Editor-in-Chief Jamie Lindsay says this is something she knew was coming and says tonight's rally is to offer to support to anyone who needs it.
A way to get to, a local appointment, at our local Planned Parenthood. Just like something we haven't done is just been able to make those networks to where people have a trustworthy system and support. And that's really a mutual aid support really is what we need. And so that's really our goal for tonight.
The rally protesting the Supreme Court decision will start around 6 p.m. in Joplin. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky is going to report live from that rally on KOAM News at 6. To see more local and regional reaction to the Supreme Court decision, go online to KOAMNewsNow.com or download the KOAM News app. Let's check in with Doug Hetty for a first look at the weather.
Well, smoking hot day for us today. Temperatures upper 90s to near 100 degrees across the region and pretty much sunny skies. A little breezy out there. We had some thunderstorms to our north and a couple little guys trying to get going near Table Rock Lake. So there is a chance for an isolated thunderstorm as we go through the evening hours. Well, look at our temps. 97, 98, 99 degrees. You factor in the humidity. You get the heat index about 104 to about 107, so dangerously hot. If you are going to be out throughout the evening hours, make sure you drink plenty of water as we drop back through the 90s, 80s, only down to about 80 later on tonight. It gets even hotter for us tomorrow. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
Event. Authorities in Joplin are investigating the cause of this morning house fire. Firefighters responded to the fire at a home on North Jackson in the North Heights neighborhood around 9:15 this morning. Authorities say everyone got out of the home safely. The House has passed a Senate bill sending the first major new gun control legislation in nearly 30 years to the White House to be signed into law. The bipartisan legislation will enhance gun background checks for people under age 21. Sets aside $750 million to give to states that implement red flag laws designed to temporarily seize guns from people deemed dangerous. President Biden is expected to sign that bill into law. Tens of millions of kids will still be able to eat free of charge at school this summer and into next year. Congress today approved the extension of the Keep Kids Fed Act. It puts nearly $3 billion towards school meal waivers. This extension isn't as broad as the initial bill was, so it won't cover as many kids now. Local chapters of the United Way got out today for a day of action. The event is a chance for volunteers to work on beautification projects for nonprofit organizations throughout the area. The United Way has hosted the Day of Action annually for more than 30 years.
Today is our Day of Action, which United Way of Southwest Missouri and Southeast Kansas has coordinated for over 30 years now. It's that one day a year where we have hundreds of volunteers that go out to nonprofits throughout Joplin and Pittsburgh and provide the volunteer service to those agencies.
Volunteers today worked on beautification projects including landscaping, planting, and painting. Still ahead, research on COVID vaccine.
A new study shows the effectiveness of COVID vaccines. I'm Ian Lee with how many lives scientists say they've saved.
And next in Health Watch, some tips on eating healthy despite the high prices at the grocery store. Topping today's Health Watch, vaccine boosters are proving to be an important weapon against the pandemic. A study in Israel found a fourth dose of the Pfizer vaccine gave high protection against COVID hospitalizations and deaths for people in long-term care facilities. But in the midst of the Omicron surge, it offered just modest protection against infection. New research estimates how many lives have been saved worldwide because of COVID-19 vaccines. Reporter Ian Lee has more.
Previous studies show COVID-19 vaccines can protect against severe illness, hospitalization, and death. Now new research reveals nearly 20 million lives were saved in the year following the vaccination rollout.
That is just a remarkable number, and it's the core reason why many higher income countries have been able to relax many of the interventions that they've had in place for the past 2 years and return to a sort of new state of normal in this pandemic.
The study, based on data from 185 countries and territories, was published in the Lancet Infectious Diseases. Dr. Oliver Watson from Imperial College London says most of the deaths prevented were in high and middle income countries, which calls attention to inequalities in access to vaccines.
Are there any countries that still don't have enough vaccines?
Many. There are many countries that still do not have enough vaccines across the world. We must do better in the next pandemic. So much more could have been done if vaccines had been distributed more equitably and faster across the world.
Dr. Watson also stresses that getting shots into as many arms as possible worldwide could have limited the outbreak of new variants. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
Researchers also estimated that nearly 600,000 lives could have been saved if the World Health Organization target of vaccinating 40% of the population in each country by the end of 2021 had been achieved. Abbott Laboratories says there is no evidence that its baby formula is connected to the latest report of an infant death in January. The company says it'll continue to investigate if more information becomes available after the FDA announced the start of a new probe. Abbott recalled its products earlier this year because of contamination leading to that nationwide shortage. And this little sensor worn on the back of the neck could be helpful in detecting whiplash during high-impact sports. The patch produces an electrical signal that measures sudden neck strain. A study in Scientific Reports found the device could be further developed to detect concussions. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, the Federal Reserve announces which major banks passed its annual stress test.
Plus, the heat gets a little bit hotter as we go into the weekend. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, of course, a super hot day outside for us today. Temperatures approaching 100 degrees across the region. Plenty of sunshine, which you can definitely see on our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. This is our live tower cam. It's hot. It's humid. Temperatures have been hovering just below 100. 97, 98, 99 degrees for about 4 hours now. You can see everybody is into the upper 90s. Then you factor in the humidity, and of course it gets even worse. But we aren't alone. Look at the entire Central Plains. A little bit cooler in northeastern Missouri where they had some showers and thunderstorms, but you got triple-digit heat out across Oklahoma and then down through central and western parts of Kansas. Look at our heat index, about 104, 105. It's going to stay up as we go through the next couple hours, and then it will start to drop. 7th range line, currently outside 98, heat index of 105. Humidity is at 40%. Through the evening hours, we drop back through the 90s, eventually into the 80s. Only about 78 or 80 for an overnight low, so it stays pretty warm. Not too much going on here. We had some thunderstorms pass on by to our north a little bit earlier today. We do have a few isolated thunderstorms, so here's Table Rock Lake, Branson, and then down toward Harrison, Arkansas. So we can't rule out in southwestern Missouri an isolated thunderstorm over the next few hours, but I think most of these guys will stay down across northwestern Arkansas. Let's go through time. Let's go through the overnight hours tonight. Pretty much clear skies. We drop back to about 78 or 80. As we go through the daytime hours tomorrow, we heat up quickly. By the noon hour, we're going to be about 95. As we go into the afternoon, I think most of us will hit 100 as we get into the afternoon hours. So very hot, very humid. Here's your day planner. 78 to start, 94 by noon, high temp of 100. It's going to be a little breezy. South winds at about 10 to 20, and during the afternoon, late afternoon, we could start to see a few isolated little thunderstorms trying to pop up. As we go into tomorrow night, scattered thunderstorms, especially along and north of I-44, but scattered thunderstorms. It's not going to be super widespread, but this is our shot to get a little bit of rain in here because we haven't seen much over the past couple weeks. Here's Sunday morning, some scattered thunderstorms, and then by the afternoon, we look pretty good. I think most of these will be out of here by late morning. And then look at our temps, upper 70s to near 80 for a high by the time we head into Sunday afternoon. Heat indices tomorrow, way up there again, 106, 107, 108 degrees. Of course, those are going to drop by the time we head into Sunday. And then we get a nice little stretch of pretty good weather, lower 80s on Monday, mid 80s on Tuesday, and then we creep back near 90 degrees by the time we head into late next week. 100 tomorrow. Overnight thunderstorms tomorrow night, scattered, 81 on Sunday, 80 on Monday, overnight low of 58 degrees. So we're going to get some pretty nice weather. Then our temperatures creep back up as we go into the holiday weekend, next weekend, back into the mid to upper 90s for the 4th.
Highs in the 80s, though, even if it's brief. Sounds pretty nice.
Yeah, it sounds really nice.
Thanks, Doug. Hey, crews yesterday removed the old transmitter from the top of our tower, and for now we are broadcasting from a temporary transmitter lower on the tower as we prepare to put the new, more powerful transmitter at the top. Our signal is going to be a little bit glitchy for some time for some of you, but when the project is finished, we are going to be broadcasting with more power than ever. Check out the progress anytime on our website. It's KOAMnewsnow.com/power. Coming up, eating healthy without breaking the bank. First, though, we honor a local veteran. William Putman served in the U.S. Army. The Cherryville, Kansas native was stationed in Iraq, and we salute Specialist William Putman, a four-state hero. You can learn about lots of other heroes from all across this area. You can also submit a hero of your own anytime. All you have to do is click on the link on our website. It's KOAMnewsnow.com. Up next on the CBS Evening News, more reaction from federal lawmakers about the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to have reaction from area governors on the decision, plus details on an internship program offered by the Wyandotte Nation. And Pitt State Athletics announces its Hall of Fame class for 2022. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Okay, it's hot out there. but things are going to be changing, and that it's going to be getting a little bit hotter.
Yeah, I mean, it is going to change. We just got to deal with the heat for one more day. 100 degrees tomorrow. Heat index about 107 to 108. Some scattered thunderstorms tomorrow night, but look at our high on Sunday. Only 81, only 80 on Monday. Overnight lows into the upper 50s, so that's pretty good before the 90s return for the holiday weekend, which I can't believe it's almost already the 4th of July, which is kind of crazy.
That's true. It's nice that we're going to have a cooler day come Sunday.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is going to be a good day to stay inside.
Yes.
Or if you have to be out, stay cool any way you can. Stay hydrated for sure. Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. It's going to be live at the Supreme Court. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.